Loss aversion. Why fear of losing money is blocking your wealth. Imagine this. You're standing in front of two doors. Behind door number 1 is a real chance to gain $1,000. Behind door number 2 is the risk of losing exactly $1,000. Which one pulls at your heart stronger? For most of us, it's not the excitement of winning, it's the heavy dread of losing. Even though the amounts are exactly the same, the fear of loss feels almost twice as painful as the joy of gain. That strange but very real feeling has a name: loss aversion. And right now, it might be quietly stealing your best chances at building real wealth. Think about your own life for a second. Have you ever hesitated to invest in a promising opportunity because you were terrified of losing the money you already worked so hard to save? Maybe you saw a friend start a small side business, but you immediately thought, what if it fails and I lose everything? Or perhaps you keep all your savings sitting safely in a bank account earning almost nothing because moving it anywhere else feels way too risky. You are not alone. Millions of good, hard-working people stay stuck in the same financial spot year after year. Not because they lack opportunities, but because the fear of losing what they have is much stronger than the desire to gain more. This isn't just a simple bad habit. It's wired deep inside our brains. Scientists have proven that humans feel the pain of losing something much more intensely than the pleasure of gaining the same thing. Losing $100 hurts about twice as much as winning $100 feels good. This imbalance comes from our ancient past. Back then, losing food, shelter, or tools could mean death. Our ancestors who were extra careful about losses survived longer. But here's the big problem. We no longer live in that dangerous ancient world. Today, in a world full of opportunities to create wealth, that same old survival instinct is actually working against us. It keeps us playing small. It makes us say no to smart risks that could grow our money. It whispers, better safe than sorry, even when safe slowly means staying broke or trapped in a job we don't love. Let me make this personal. Picture yourself right now. You've worked hard, saved some money, maybe built a small emergency fund. You dream of a better life, more freedom, more security for your family, the ability to travel or help your parents without worry. Yet every time a good idea appears, learning a new skill for a higher-paying job, starting a small online business, or investing in something with solid long-term returns, that fearful voice shows up. What if I lose it all? What if I end up worse than I am today? That voice feels so real, so protective. But in truth, it's quietly blocking the exact wealth you want. Fear of poverty keeps you trapped in a cycle of just getting by, while the path to real wealth requires a completely different mindset, one that focuses on growth instead of constant protection. When you let loss aversion control your money decisions, you miss out on compounding growth, new skills, and opportunities that successful people use every single day. You stay inside your comfort zone, but that comfort zone slowly turns into a cage. The longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to break free. Now that you can clearly feel how loss aversion appears in your daily thoughts, let's go deeper and see exactly how it blocks your path to wealth in real life. Picture this situation. You finally saved $5,000 after many months of careful budgeting. A trusted friend who already built a successful online store tells you about a proven digital marketing course that costs $2,000. He shows real results. Students who followed it started earning an extra $1,000 to $3,000 per month within 6 months. Your heart beats faster with excitement, but then the fear rushes in. What if the course doesn't work for me? What if I lose that $2,000 and have nothing to show? So you smile, say, maybe later, and keep the money sitting safely in the bank, earning almost nothing. That decision feels safe in the moment, but let's honestly look at what it really costs you. By protecting those $2,000 from possible loss, you are also protecting yourself from the possibility of gaining $12,000 to $36,000 or more in the next year. Over time, that small fear multiplies. While others learn new skills, test small ideas, and let their money work for them, you stay exactly where you are. Year after year, the gap between your current life and the wealthy life you dream about grows wider. Not because you're lazy or unlucky, but because loss aversion is quietly winning every financial choice you make. This same pattern repeats in even bigger decisions. Many people avoid investing in the stock market or simple index funds, even when they know these have delivered strong returns over the long term. Why? Because they can vividly imagine the pain of watching their money drop 20 or 30% during a market crash. They feel that pain far more strongly than the slow, steady growth over 10 or 20 years. They choose the sure thing of keeping cash in low-interest accounts, even though inflation quietly eats away at their purchasing power every single month. Or think about career moves. You may dream of switching to a better-paying job or starting a side hustle, but the fear of failing and losing your current stable income keeps you frozen. What if the new job doesn't work out and I can't pay the bills? That thought feels so heavy that you never take the first step, never update your resume, never learn the new skill, never even ask for a raise. Here's the hard truth that wealthy people understand. Building real wealth almost always involves some risk of loss, but loss aversion makes that risk feel 10 times bigger than it actually is. It turns reasonable, calculated chances into terrifying threats. As a result, you make decisions based on avoiding pain instead of pursuing real growth. You choose safety over freedom, protection over possibility. The good news? Once you clearly see this pattern in your own life, you have already taken the first powerful step toward changing it. You start noticing when that fear voice appears, and you can pause before automatically obeying it. You begin asking better questions. What's the real worst-case scenario here? How likely is it really? And what's the potential upside if things go well? By simply becoming aware of loss aversion, you stop letting it control you unconsciously. You move from being a prisoner of fear to someone who can make balanced, wealth-building choices. As you begin noticing how loss aversion has been shaping your choices, the next important step is learning how to rewire your thinking so the fear of losing no longer controls your financial future. The key is to shift your focus from avoiding loss to building long-term gain. This doesn't mean becoming reckless. It means giving the possibility of winning the same emotional weight, or even more, than the fear of losing. One of the simplest ways to do this is by changing the questions you ask yourself. Instead of only thinking, "What if I lose my money?" start asking, "What will my life look like in 5 years if I keep doing nothing?" Feel that question deeply. Picture yourself still living paycheck to paycheck, still worrying about bills every month, still unable to help your family the way you truly want. That future pain is often much bigger and more certain than the temporary discomfort of a small, failed try today. Let me guide you to experience this shift right now. Imagine 2 versions of yourself 5 years from today. First version, you stayed safe. You never invested in new skills. You never tried that side business. Your savings grew very slowly while prices kept rising. You still feel that constant low-level stress about money. You watch others moving forward while you feel stuck. Second version, you took small, smart risks. You spent reasonable amounts on education and tools that improved your earning power. Some ideas worked, some didn't, but each time you learned something valuable. Your income grew, your confidence grew. You now have more choices, more peace of mind, and the freedom to enjoy life instead of just surviving it. Which future creates a heavier feeling in your chest? Most people feel a much stronger pull toward avoiding the stuck future once they truly visualize it. That's how you begin to balance loss aversion, by making the cost of inaction feel more real and painful than the fear of trying. Another practical technique is to start very small. Don't try to beat your fear with one huge, risky move. Instead, take tiny, low-stakes actions that prove to your brain that calculated risks can pay off. For example, invest just $50 or $100 in a low-cost index fund and watch it over a few months. Spend $20 to $50 on a short online course for a skill that can increase your income. Test a tiny side hustle with almost no money, like offering a simple service to friends first. Each small win retrains your brain. You collect real evidence that stepping forward doesn't always mean losing everything. The fear slowly loses its power because you now have personal proof that growth is possible. You can also reframe how you see money itself. Stop viewing your savings as something fragile that must be protected at all costs. Instead, see it as a tool meant to work for you, to create more money, more opportunities, and more freedom. Money that just sits still is actually losing value every day because of inflation. The real risk is not trying something new. The real risk is doing nothing while life and opportunities move forward without you. Wealthy people didn't eliminate fear. They learned to act in spite of it. They accept that some losses are part of the game, but they keep their eyes on the much larger gains that come from consistent, smart action over time. You've now understood how loss aversion works, how it blocks your progress, and how to start shifting your mindset toward growth. The final and most important part is turning this new awareness into simple daily habits that actually build wealth. Start by creating one clear, wealth-building rule for yourself. For every money decision, deliberately write down both the potential loss and the potential gain, and force yourself to give the gain equal emotional attention. Most people only vividly imagine the downside. When you make yourself list and feel the upside just as clearly, your brain begins to balance naturally. Before saying no to any opportunity, ask yourself these 4 questions out loud. 1. What's the realistic worst-case scenario, and can I survive it? 2. What's the best-case scenario, and how would that change my life? 3. What small step can I take today with very little money at risk? 4. If I do nothing, what will this decision really cost me in the next 3 to 5 years? Answering these questions honestly breaks the automatic fear response and brings long-term vision back into your choices. Another powerful habit is to celebrate learning, not just winning. When a small investment of time or money doesn't work out, don't criticize yourself. Instead, say, I just paid for an education that most people never get. This simple reframe turns every loss into valuable knowledge that makes your next move smarter. Over time, this builds real confidence and makes loss aversion much weaker. Make it practical every month. Set aside a small growth fund, even if it's only $100, that you promise to use only for wealth-building activities, courses, tools, small business tests, or smart investments. Knowing this money has a clear purpose reduces the emotional pain when you spend it, because you're no longer losing it. You're investing it in your future self. Surround yourself with the right examples. Listen to real stories of people who started with little, took smart risks, and built real wealth. Notice how they treat failures as normal stepping stones, not disasters. The more you hear this growth-oriented thinking, the more natural it becomes for you. Shifting from a fear of poverty mindset to an aiming for wealth mindset won't happen in one day. It's a gradual process of catching the old fear, pausing, and choosing the new question or small action instead. Each time you do this, you weaken loss aversion and strengthen your wealth-building muscle. You already have everything you need inside you: the ability to learn, the ability to take small steps, and the ability to keep going. The only thing standing between you and a much richer, freer life is letting go of the exaggerated fear of loss that no longer serves you. Start today with one small action. Choose one opportunity you've been avoiding because of fear, break it into a tiny first step, and take it. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway. That single step is how every wealthy journey truly begins. You deserve a life where money supports your dreams instead of limiting them. The fear of losing has protected you long enough. Now it's time to let the desire for growth lead the way. The fear of losing money has controlled your financial life for too long. Today is the perfect day to break free and start building the wealth you truly deserve. Drop a comment below right now. What is one small step you are going to take this week to overcome loss aversion and move toward wealth? I read every single comment and can't wait to hear from you. Let's grow together.